Daily Schmankerl. Are Bayern Munich and Manchester United planning a swap of Thomas Muller and Raphael Varane, Sven Ulreich on verge of new deal? Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, BVB, and PSG eyeing AC Milan starlet, and more. Bavarian football works. Is a Muller-Varane swap in the mix for January? Team Talk. Are Bayern Munich and Manchester United eyeing a swap of Thomas Muller and Raphael Varane? It seems that silly mid-season is upon us, and as January nears, the rumors are getting more ludicrous. Now, according to Bild, Bayern are ready to step up their approach to take Varane off United's hands ahead of the January window. But rather than proposing a straight cash offer, it's reported that Bayern boss Tuchel wants to organize a high-profile swap deal between the two clubs. Varane is one of United's top earners, currently on a package worth £300,000 a week. That salary, together with a fairly sizable transfer fee, United are reportedly seeking between €20 meters and €30 meters, £17.4 meters to £26.1 meter, for a player who still has just over 18 months left on his deal, would make a deal difficult for Bayern to pull off. However, in an effort to bring their outlay down, Bild reports Tuchel is proposing a straight swap deal that would see unwanted forward Thomas Muller move to Old Trafford in a swap deal for Varane. As it stands, United are reportedly cold on the idea of signing Muller. Despite twice previously trying to sign the 253-goal forward, they have learned the hard way over recent years that buying big money and established stars in the twilight of their careers has not gone to plan. Radamel Falcao, Alexis Sanchez, Bastian Schweinsteiger, and more recently Casemiro, a signing for which incoming new investor Sir Jim Ratcliffe is thought to be critical of, are strong cases in point. However, it's reported that to rid themselves of their Varane problem, the former man is seen by Ratcliffe as being too expensive a player to only be stuck on their bench. United may need to perform a U-turn on their initial skepticism and agree to the high-stakes swap. Muller, for his part, is also on hefty wages at Bayern, but has also found himself sidelined after the arrival of Harry Kane, and with a selection of Leroy Sane, Eric Choupo-Moting, Jamal Musiala, Kingsley Coman, and Serge Gnabry used in the positions behind the England captain. A mid-season transfer for a club legend like Muller seems very unlikely, even if Tuchel is pushing for Varane. The biggest question this story begs, if true, is how much does Tuchel want to unload Muller? It would seem almost disrespectful to want to pursue this kind of move, but if a coach did really want to get rid of a strong locker room personality, this is one way to do it. Is it conceivable? Sure. Is it true? That seems doubtful, no matter how conniving you might believe Tuchel to be. Ulreich deal done per Romano, at Fabrizio Romano. According to Fabrizio Romano, Bayern Munich has agreed to a new deal with Sven Ulreich, though nothing has been formally announced as of yet. Bavarian podcast works, post-game show. Bayern Munich 1-0 FC Köln, Bavarian football works. A Friday night tilt after an international break against a desperate opponent could have been disastrous for Bayern Munich, but like they have done so many other times this season, the Bavarians fought through some uneven play on both ends of the pitch to claim a 1-0 victory. Let's take a look at what is on tap for this episode. A gander at Thomas Tuchel's odd starting 11 and what that might mean for some of the players who were passed over in favor of Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. A public service message that you do not need to watch this mess. A rundown of the scoring, lol, as Harry Kane just keeps producing, even though he sometimes appears to be an afterthought in the attack. Stefan Baumgart will likely get sacked soon, but he has nothing to work with. That said, he had his team prepared and they fought hard. This really just a Billy Goats team that lacks talent. Some final thoughts on Bayern Munich as the team heads into the stretch run of the Hinrund. Phillips, Ekteik to NUFC? Times via 90min.com. Two players who were previously linked to Bayern Munich, Manchester City's Calvin Phillips and Paris Saint-Germain's Hugo Ekteik, could be on their way to Newcastle. Will make loan moves for midfielder Calvin Phillips and Paris Saint-Germain striker Hugo Ekteik once the opens. Coman, Upamecano, Kimmich learn honours at Huskord. Kingsley Coman, Dayot Upamecano, and Joshua Kimmich all earned some recognition for their respective performances against FC Köln. Coman and Upamecano were highlighted by Huskord.com. Meanwhile, Kicker had Kimmich in its Bundesliga Team of the Week. Bavarian Podcast Works Weekend Warm-Up Podcast. Season 3, Episode 20, Bavarian Football Works. What a mess of an international break that was. Germany is a disaster under Julian Nagelsmann, but at least Bayern Munich is coming back this weekend. Given all of that, there is plenty to talk about, so let's get to it. Here is what is on tap for this week's episode. Assessing why Germany is a clown show these days, hint. The answer is pretty simple. Looking at why Julian Nagelsmann cannot help himself and is proving all of his critics right. Break out the torch, it is time to light some folks up. A preview for Bayern Munich versus FC Köln. Transfer rumors on Bayern Munich stars Thomas Muller and Leroy Sané. What to be thankful for during this Thanksgiving season. Baumgart lauds Kane, Sky. FC Köln coach Stefan Baumgart once said that he would have rather purchased Bayer Leverkusen's Victor Boniface than Bayern Munich's Harry Kane last summer. That was likely regrettable given how Kane has dominated Germany, but Baumgart has spent the time since then complimenting Kane, including both before last week's game against Bayern Munich and also afterward. Cologne manager Stefan Baumgart says Harry Kane is phenomenal, extraordinary and an asset to the league, as his side prepare to face Bayern Munich on Friday. The England striker is on course to smash Robert Lewandowski's all-time Bundesliga record of 41 league goals in a season. Kane has scored 17 goals in 11 games, a rate which would see the 30-year-old end the campaign on 50 goals. Camarda already gaining interest, 90min.com. Francesco Camarda, AC Milan's 15-year-old wunderkind who made his debut last weekend, is already drawing interest from the likes of Chelsea FC, Liverpool FC, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, and Paris Saint-Germain. Chelsea and Manchester City have all made overtures to Camarda's family regarding a move to England, while Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund. AC Milan are facing a battle to keep hold of 15-year-old starlet Francesco Camarda amid transfer interest from across Europe, sources have confirmed to 90 minutes. The teenager was called up to Milan's senior squad to face in Serie A owing to the first team's injury crisis, and came on a second-half substitute to become the youngest debutant in both Milan and Serie A history. National regulations required the Rossoneri to secure special permission from the Italian FA in order to promote Camarda, assigning him the number 73 shirt. 90 Minutes understands that Milan have promised Camarda a huge role in their future, but as he is ineligible to sign a professional contract until his 16th birthday in March, they risk losing him until then. Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City have all made overtures to Camarda's family regarding a move to England, while Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and Borussia Dortmund are also looking to snatch him from under the noses of Milan. Sources have told 90 Minutes that Camarda's family are settled in Milan and it's likely he will put pen to paper on a professional deal at San Siro once he turns 16, but the club remain worried about such outside interest in his services. Speaking ahead of Saturday's fixture, Milan manager Stefano Pioli said,